One, 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 one. Welcome to the one-on-one. When it comes to ratings, man, we number one. I get the truth, then I give them the scoop. If anybody got a question, I give them the proof. Welcome to the one-on-one. When it comes to ratings, man, we number one. I get the truth, then I give them the scoop. If anybody got a question, I give them the proof. Welcome to One-on-One at Legacy Later Sports Network.
Here for episode 101 on One-on-One. And with me today, I have an extremely special guest. I am excited to have this gentleman with me today. He look at the shirt. We'll start off by looking at the shirt here. You know, you got to rep hard or don't rep at all. My man, Mr. Stephen Boyd, aka the Rally Captain. What's up, brother?
Hey, Darrell, thank you for having me first off on the show, man. It's an honor to be on One-on-One with this being the 101st episode. So, man, I'm hyped to be here, brother, and I appreciate you having me. Let's get it.
Yeah, look, I'm very excited to have you on. Like when I start to mind boggle these seasons, I'm like, all right, who's coming in? I wanted to bring you on last season, but I was like, nah, I'm gonna wait. And with everything going on right now, it feels like it is the perfect time to have. It is the perfect time to have you on. So I'm very excited to have you there. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start off with the segment to get things rocking and rolling, and that is with the check-in. All right, Rally Captain. So look, we start off with the check-in. This is just a chance to check in on you. How's you? How's your family? How's everything? Your friends? How's everything going right now with Stephen Boyd?
Well, I got to tell you, right now, everything is well. I just had a family reunion last week, and everyone came up from the St. Louis area to the DC area. It was the DC area's chapter to host the family reunion, excuse me, and we had a great participation. Next year it'll be back in St. Louis, so I was able to see my family. I was able to, fellowship with them and just have a good time. And as far as that's the extended family, and as far as my immediate family, everyone is doing well.
Good.
Better than what I could ever ask for, man.
That's a beautiful thing, Rally Captain. I'm glad to see that you're doing well, that everything's going good. And so, hey, let's go ahead and get into just a little bit. I want to find out how little are we talking about? 6, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old Rally Captain. Where did his passion for sports come from? That's what I would like to know. Where did that passion for sports come from for you, Rally Captain?
Well, it first started in, like I said, I'm from St. Louis, so I was a St. Louis Cardinal fan. Jim Hart, Otis Anderson, those legends back in the day. And then my father was in the military, so we moved around and wound up in Dallas. And something that a lot of people don't know about me is, and don't crucify me for this, when you live in Texas, you gotta root for the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh.
Now. Yeah, I know that's rough. That's a little known fact. It was one of those things where the coach said you will root for the Dallas Cowboys. So for a small stint, I was a Cowboy fan only because I was made to be one. So don't hurt me, everybody that's listening. All right.
Hey, well, look, you're in a different path now. So look, we all understand exactly where you are at this moment in time. Oh man, that had to be tough. And I know and a lot of people probably don't know about that. So I mean, do they give you a lot of grief when people find out about that?
No, because they realized that that was my wayward ways. Now we true. We focused. You know what I mean? So no, they don't bother me. They may give me a little bit of rubbing, but other than that, nah, man, they let it go and realize I'm on brighter and better things.
Yeah, they don't. There you go. There you go. And with so much greatness going on right now, which we're gonna get to in just a second or so. But before we get into that, now you were once in the military, correct?
Correct.
Correct. Can you take us on a journey on your military journey about just give us a quick overlay of how everything went for you while you were in the military.
Oh man, so you trying to get real personal with me? What I'll say is this: the military provided me a way to go into my profession that I'm not going to get into. I'm going to keep that to myself, my profession, and it gave me the experience to be in the profession that I'm in right now, to be able to make a living and be able to travel the way that I do. How about that?
I like that. I like that. And so, with that being said, though, uh, we know that you do a lot of traveling, that you have your own, traveling company, sbevents.net, www.sbevents.net. Tell us a little bit about your company and what you do.
So sbevents.net, or SB Events, my company, got started, I would say, in 2014. The idea started in 2012, and I was basically went on someone's trip who I thought was the bee's knees. Come to find out, it really wasn't. After, when I got back home and started really thinking about some things and how I could do things better, I said, man, you know what? You need to go in business for yourself. So I took my classes, got the certifications that are needed, and just decided to step out there and open up my own company. And my first trip, I want to say I had 7 people, and the word got out that, hey, look, no, this guy, he looks out for his customers. He, won't put you in the nosebleed seats, unless you ask for that. I believe in my customers are always right. And if my customer wants nosebleed, I'll give you nosebleed. If you want 50-yard line, I'll give you 50-yard line. I'll give you whatever you ask of me to make your trip special. So, so I started, like I said, in 2014, and with basically 7 people that went on my trip, and it has blossomed to hundreds, and I'll say even thousands of people that have traveled with me.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, with that, this is mostly for Commanders at the time, Redskins, but Commanders, Washington football team, with them in there as well. But you were doing these mostly for the Commanders, correct?
Correct. As you said, I mean, we'll take it back, and we can't erase our history, so we need to go ahead and talk about it. It was right. Redskin trips. So when we were the Redskins, and let's face it, in our hearts, we will always be Redskins, but the name has changed, and so right now we are Commanders until that changes again. So, which is what they're talking about, and that's really hot buzz right now. But getting back to what we're talking about, so yeah, it started off as strictly Redskin trips, and now it has broadened to other trips. I mean, we did a big trip to Cancun, looking at doing a women's wellness trip.
Sweet.
Coming up here, so the details will be out on that shortly. But it just has blossomed to a 24/7 travel agency business, and I'm very happy to say that I enjoy helping people meet their travel goals.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, obviously, are you going to do all the games this year, or is it just certain ones that you do this year for the away games?
So, Darrell, I got to tell you, and for the people who don't know me, I have not missed a game, home or away, since 2014. Whew. And so, obviously, I missed 2020 because of COVID, but right. We can't really count that. But I haven't missed a game since 2014, and the goal this year, God willing, is to make all of the games again.
Now, with that being said, now I like how we're gonna kind of segue into a little something here. You are recognized across all facets as, if not the biggest Washington Commanders, slash Redskins slash WFT fan. You're also known, if not at least the most recognizable. I mean, you got a chance to do some good things last year. You were on Fox during, I believe, one of their pre-games, all that good stuff going on. Just, take us on a journey on how this became, how you got into becoming the most recognizable Washington Commanders fan out there. How did that come about?
Oh, interesting. So I went to at the time, Redskins Road Rally. The team used to put those on back in the day. And for those that don't know, the road rallies are where they would go to an out of town venue. Let's say we would be playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We would have a rally in Tampa, and Larry Michaels saw me, and he said, "Hey man, I like your outfit. I want to give you some field passes." Well, at the time, Bruce Allen saw me as well, but we really just didn't know each other. It was just one of those chance type of things.
Right.
And so that was at an away game, and then I was at the next away game, and Larry Michael saw me again, and Bruce Allen saw me again, and this time we started talking, and Bruce Allen to me was a good guy. I mean, because I've never met a general manager that I could really converse one-on-one the way that we did.
Right.
After that, he said, "You know what? If you are everywhere where I am, you deserve to get something from us." And so they started giving me passes to be on the field. After that, somehow or another, because of, I guess, my outfit or whatever have you. By the way, speaking of outfits, I was the first one to start wearing a rally chain. And after that,
everybody and their mama. Look, everybody and their mama.
So I wish that I could have patented, because right now I'd be on a private jet someplace.
Hey, like they say that sometimes when you see people out there copying what you do, it's flattery. I don't know. In some cases it is. Some cases maybe not so much, but I do see a couple of people out there. I saw one gentleman rocking the I think he's Commander Nash. Because we're both out there. We're both out there, and he's got it. He has a big thing. I'm like, wait a minute, not personally, nothing against Commander Nash. But I seen Riley Captain rocking that bad boy before anybody. That's just me. And I've been going to camp since 2017. You're the first person I ever seen rock it. That's just me though.
Yeah. Well, if you go back to some of my pictures, you'll see me with the big Redskin medallion. I had that. Yep. And then everybody just started. I'm from the old school. I call it biting. They just started biting off of me. Matter of fact, I have a captain's hat that I wear, and lo and behold, they are making it for all 32 teams now. This captain's hat. So no matter what I come out with, there's always somebody who's trying to become me or bite my style, as I say. And my thing is this: there are enough ways to innovate yourself.
Touche.
Innovate yourself. That's my look. That's, if I had to say anything, take bits and pieces of maybe what I do, but innovate yourself. And I say that because Chief Z, I look up to Chief Z. Chief Z was the #1 fan, and once he passed away, it was weird that a lot of people said, "Captain, you got the juice now." And I said, "No, there's only one chief, and I'm honored to be, mentioned in the same breath as him, but no, there's only one chief, and he started this. And so if I can just do half of what he has done, then I'm feeling good about myself." And so a lot of people have recognized that, and they wanted to, I guess, highlight that, if you will. Right. So, but just going back to what I was saying, just be yourself. Don't be like anybody else. I started this being myself and thinking of different ways to put me forward, if you will, to be recognized. And so there's plenty of other things that anyone can do than just what I'm doing.
See, and that's the thing, and you have your own apparel business. So, I mean, the shirt that you're wearing now, I'm pretty sure is a part of that business, correct?
Correct, it is.
Correct. And so, how long have you had the apparel business? Is that about the same time that you had the events business, or you had it a little bit longer?
No, Darrell, I got a lot of ideas that always go through my mind. I mean, I don't get any sleep at night. I really don't, because my mind is forever working. And so I had this idea along with another shirt that I came out with as far as the RC Apparel is concerned, and I sent it to a designer, and he mocked it up for me, basically just everything that I was putting to mind, because I'm not an artist at all, but my mind just goes crazy on things. And yeah, it's turning. And so, matter of fact, I'm thinking about something else that I'm about to come out with, but I'm pausing it right now. I'm pausing because I got a lot of things going on. But so he mocked the shirt up for me, and for those that don't know, because of the chain that I wear, I wanted to have the chain and the W, a different W, a camouflage W, and so for my trademark saying, "Rep it hard or don't rep it at all." So that is trademarked, by the way. So
good job.
Yeah.
That's a good job. And look, so you obviously, like we said, one of the biggest, if not the biggest in some people's eyes, fan out there. But you also have a podcast. A show that you had, the DMV Mess Hall. Tell, for those who don't know about it, give people some insight about the DMV Mess Hall.
So the DMV Mess Hall is hosted by myself and Tailgate Ted. 2 years ago, Tailgate Ted came to me and said, "Man, you know what? I've been thinking about doing this tailgate. Would you like to be a co-host?" And at first, Darrell, I'll be honest with you, man, believe it or not, I'm a private person. I really am. But my persona says otherwise.
Right.
So I was like, man, I don't know, and then finally I said, why not? Why not? Let's give the people what I feel, my perspective, as well as he gives his perspective. And we don't have a cut card, and we call it like it is. A lot of people listen and agree, but like anything else, we have people that disagree as well. But that's okay, So yeah, Tailgate Ted, he came to me about the idea, and I was reluctant, but then I ran with it and said, here we are. So I forget what episode that we're on. I think we're on.
I want to say it's 55, unless I'm wrong. I could be wrong on that, but
I think we're higher than that. I think we're higher. Okay. I think we're higher than that. Yeah.
The one I checked out, that's where I was at. But
so yeah, that's how that came about. And as I said, I really am a private person. I don't talk a lot of personal stuff, but I will talk football and definitely all day, because like this hat says, it's 365. It really is.
It's funny because I feel you 100% on the private person part. When I used to do commercials for Walmart, people just be like, "Oh man," everybody knew me. Everybody was like, "Oh, hey," and it got to a point where it was just like, okay, all right. But that privacy, people don't understand. Like, when you have to be two different, at times you have to be two different people. You out there, you have to be who everybody expects you to be. You got to be the rally captain. When I'm out there, everybody expects me to be cheerful. That's who he is. Behind closed doors, sometimes I'm a real chill person. I really know. I'm all, when I'm on this and I'm doing my sports media, I'm out there, I'm giving you my energy. But when I'm at home, I am laid back. So I feel you 1,000% on that one.
You have to be. Yeah, you have to be. You have to have your chill time, man. And a lot of people don't understand it. And I always tell people, by no means am I a star. Everyone says, "Hey man, you're a star," and I say, I'm really not. But Darrell, I'll welcome you into my world a little bit. I finally understood on a small scale what stars go through.
Right.
And I'll tell you this story. So I think I was at Ruby Tuesdays or some little place like that, eating some dinner, and this young lady walks up to me and she says, "You're that guy." And I said, no, I don't know what you're talking about. And she goes, no, you're that guy. And I said, no. I said, but I've been told I look like a lot of people, but hey. So Darrell, she took about 10 steps back, went to her phone,
and looked you up.
And she and she says, I knew you were that guy. Can I get a picture? And so for that moment in time, I felt like what the stars say they feel like when they just want to have a meal and people come up and want to take pictures with them. So, I was honored, but for that brief moment in time, I said, wow, this is what they battle, hundreds of times over. This was just one time for me. Right. So my hat goes off to those guys. It really does.
It really is tough. Back in 2010, when I was that person, I call him, that's my alter ego. But when I was Mr. Roll back then, it was, I remember being at Olive Garden, eating with my family. I was at Olive Garden, eating with my family. Mm-hmm. We're sitting there relaxing, and there's two people sitting across from me. This is at the height of the commercials. I couldn't go, and it was at a point where I just couldn't go places. Right. They were like, oh, you're him. I was sitting there chilling. Next thing you know, you can hear them arguing about if I was the person or not. And I'm sitting there like, my wife was like, are you okay? I said, they're arguing if I am the person that they see on TV. And they got loud. That's him. I'm telling you right now, that's him. I'm like, and then he said, watch this. Like, not everybody in the restaurant can't hear him. He walks up and said, you the guy on the Walmart commercials? I said, yes, that's me. I told you, man. So it got into a whole argument. The Olive Garden people was like, hey, he was like, can I get a picture? I was like, yes. I tried to give him the picture. It was like, y'all, the restaurant manager was like, y'all got to go outside. Y'all got to go outside. So, I mean,
I'm just trying to eat.
I'm just trying to, I was like, look, I just came here with my family. I wasn't trying to do anything, but it's funny, but I feel you 100%. It's one of the toughest things. And I used to tell people, I'll take pictures with people because I'm like, if it was me and it was somebody I really liked or cared about or thought they were cool, and if I asked for a picture and they told me no, I would have been heartbroken. So
right.
One time I got stuck in a line that was from like here to all the way down the street, and I was at a Walmart event, and they was like, hey, are you the guy? I started taking pictures and autographs, and I didn't sit down for 4 hours. The poor lady came over and said, let the man eat. Let the man eat. I was like, so I sat down for 2 seconds. I started eating. So I guess the person that didn't hear her make her announcement, they came back and said, hey, can I get a picture? I was like, so I ended up being there 4 hours. My food I looked at my food get cold while we were sitting there. So yeah, man, look, people don't understand, like when you have been in the public eye, it's a tough deal. So y'all let Rally Cat out eat, let the man eat. Then ask for the picture. You know what I'm saying? I've been there. I know how you feel. Just give him some time. All right, let's go ahead and get into some football and then take to our next segment. Let's talk. I just want to get your overall thoughts. It is a new day for wrestling fans out there. It is a new day. Yes, it is in Washington, D.C. We finally have a new owner. Josh Harris, Magic Johnson, and Mitch Morales have taken over the Washington Commanders franchise. I got a chance to go last week to the introduction. And, he was very excited. He talked about the Redskins a lot. It felt like last year the Redskins was a cuss word to most people.
It really did.
But now you can see it being used. Even Ron Rivera in the press conference the other day, when we were in the press conference, they asked him a question about it. And he said, yes, we will not forget our history. Exactly what you said a little bit earlier. We were not going to forget our history, but it is out of love. It has no hate. There's no ill will. It's out of love and out of respect. For the name. So it's being said a lot. And that's why everybody's sitting the sparking like, ooh, wait a minute. Could it be coming back? Could it be coming back? But I just want to get your thoughts on that, but also as the team as a whole, because there is a lot of buzz right now. I know you've been to camp. I know, and you've seen the crowds, you see the energy. I was out there Saturday. If you were out there Saturday, I didn't get a chance to see you Saturday, but I was out there and it was loud. I mean, we talking about they were excited. It was a great day. What are your thoughts about the team in its current state?
Well, let's face it. No one really liked Dan Snyder. If we're gonna be honest, let's be honest, and that's one thing that I pride myself on is being honest. No one liked him, and no one wanted to deal with him, and so as we've heard, it's like a black cloud has been lifted over the fan base. And with my travels and going to all of these games, I had fans that were for me and fans that were against me. And what I mean by that is I had fans that would tell me, you're the reason why we're still under the Dan Snyder era. It's because you continue to go to these games. You continue to support the home team. You, rally captain, if you stopped, everybody else will stop. And this will speed up the process. So that was one aspect of it.
That's a heavy burden. That's a heavy burden.
Oh,
yeah, heavy burden.
It really was. And then on the other aspect, when I would travel, as I said, out to these out of town games, I would see DMV people who would tell me, I will only go to away games. I will not spend another dime at FedEx until he's gone. Well, I mean, I ran that echoed, tremendously throughout the fan base. And so I would see all these DMV fans who would be at these away games. Yeah. And so, and even some people who lived in the market where we were playing would say, I'm not going to FedEx Field from Florida or from New York or from wherever they were from or where we were playing. And so it got to the point where he's gone now. And so because of that, you've heard it, and I'm sure it's no secret, season ticket sales are through the roof. Yeah. Single game tickets are through the roof.
Right.
And so it just goes back to what these people said. They weren't going to spend another cent.
Right.
And so that's why the NFL also had to do what they had to do to get rid of them, because it was affecting their bottom line as well. And you know as well as I do, in the NFL, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. And if it don't make sense, we got to get rid of you some shape, form, or fashion. And so there it is.
See, and that's the interesting thing, because going to these games, and being able to see the fan base, we saw a lot of times where other fan bases were coming into FedEx and they took over that bad boy. I mean, we can't even sugarcoat it. I remember being at I think it was the last game of the season when Nick Foles was there. This is the one that bought. I think even though I'm a Packers fan, but I do support the Commanders. And so as I'm sitting there and I just watching the Eagles fans like take over, fly Eagles fly. It was loud and proud, and I'm like, this hurts. And I'm not even like, I'm sitting there like, wow, this hurts. Like my dad, my brothers, they're Washington fans, and it hurt them to their core to see this, And I said, believe me, it was one of the toughest things for me to even just watch. But I saw this over years and years and years. And Jason Wright said the other day, he said, hey, like you said, ticket sales are up. They've almost got the first game sold out. It is going to be loud and proud in FedEx for game one. Heck, the preseason might be filled up the way things are going.
I think so. I really believe so. The other thing is, when you can't sell a ticket more than basically $150,
right,
and sometimes $14, of course people are going to come down and invade your stadium when your own fan base will not spend any more money.
Yeah.
So, I understand it, but I think that the 2023 season, 24 season is going to be a different beast altogether, providing we win some football games.
Well, that's my next part before we move to our next segment. What are your thoughts, outside of the owner thing? What are your thoughts on the team right now? I think a lot of people feel really good about, really good about this defense. The depth that they have at cornerback, the depth that they have on the defensive line, or the depth they have in the defensive backs, and the depth that they have in the defensive line. You got a great depth at the receiver position now. I think they're in a really good spot at the receiver position. The tight ends are solid. Offensive line, maybe some stuff that need to be worked on, or a process. Linebacker, some people feel the linebacker is maybe the weakest part of that defense. But what is your overall thoughts on this team as they head into the season? Where do you think they, and I know obviously as a fan you said playoffs, but if you had to take that out of it, where do you think this team kind of stands?
Well, how about this, Darrell? How about you have me back on later on in the season after the pads are on, because right now I can't give you the answer realistically that you're asking me. I can't give it to you until I see them in pads. I see them going against another opponent, in a different color jersey. Right now, it all looks good. We are like, it's Christmas morning and you just open that brand new toy and it's shiny. And so we're playing with it. We got it all over. We're driving a truck all around the living room floor or whatever have you. I mean, we are doing it. And the fan base shows you the excitement. So let's wait. If we can.
We can wait. We can wait.
All right. Now I will say this. I'm going to the first joint practice in Baltimore. Yeah. So I will be able to see exactly what we'll be doing because I'll be taking notes to let all the fan base know who can't make it out to Baltimore, and I'm going to be giving it to you rough and raw. The only way I know how to.
That's the practice I think everybody's got kind of circled. I mean, I know I'll be there. And
okay.
I'll be there for both days. So I'm excited to kind of see where this team lines up when they're taking on a pretty solid football team and a playoff team in the Baltimore Ravens. So
definitely,
I mean, it'll be fun to watch, just from that outside looking in. And I don't know. I'm very excited about the defense personally. Like, I sit there and watch and say, wow, they could. I said this 2 years ago too, though, right after the playoff year. I'm like, they could be special. Then obviously, knock on wood, because we don't want to see that happen. But some other things happen, injuries, whatever. If everything stays right, personally, this is just me. I don't see how this defense can be as dangerous, if not top 3 defense, by the end of the season, if not number 1. That's how good I think this defense could be. That's just me personally, though.
Right. And we're not being a homer because we see it. We see it. And truth be told, Darrell, the NFL, the other teams, they know it as well. They know it.
Right.
But they have to continue to be optimistic, whereas we are all in. They just dipping a toe in, but they know.
They know.
They
definitely know.
The only thing, and excuse me for interrupting you, the only thing that everybody is questioning is, like you said, the offensive line. Mm-hmm. And I just did a video with I liken Sam Howell to Neo with the Matrix. Right. Everyone's saying, is he the one? Is he the one? But for all of us that know, we know he's the one, and he's going to make it happen.
This will be my last thing. I'll say this, and before we move on, this was a very smart business decision by Washington to go with Sam Howell at the quarterback position. And people like, why wouldn't they go out and get a quarterback? Why wouldn't they? Look, you got to go and have. To me, you got to figure out how to pay Chase, and you're gonna if everything goes well, you got to figure out how to pay Chase. You got to figure out how to pay Montez. Those are the next 2. And of course, Cameron Curl. So you got those 3 people that you're like, all right, we got to figure all this out. And they want to keep that defense together. Mm-hmm. If you can get Sam on a rookie contract for the next couple of years, you don't have to worry about Sam for at least 3 or 4 years if everything works out the way it works out. So that's why I tell people in the fan base, I said, don't stress. Like, there's a very strategic part of this. They figured out veteran quarterbacks weren't working here and there. And now they's like we'll take it from here and see if the rookie can make things happen. Look, I'm not going to go and give any predictions, but I like what I've seen so far.
Yes.
We'll definitely see from there.
Yes.
All right, let's go ahead and head to our next segment. It is time, ladies and gentlemen, for the Rally Captain version of Quick Ones. Let's get it. For the Rally Captain edition of Quick Ones here on 101.
Your audio went dead for me. So
I think it jumped on that. So are you ready for the Rally Captain version of Quick Ones here on 101?
Do I have a choice? Let's get it. Let's get it, bro. I'm down for it.
All right. Well, don't worry. I'm not gonna jump side of here with nothing too crazy. All right. First one, we got favorite sports moment of all time. Your favorite sports moment.
One of my favorite sports moments was Sean Taylor Pro Bowl when the kicker tried to run the end around, and Sean just nailed him.
Man, it was rough.
It was on his butt. And the kicker was like, "Hey, man, is this supposed to be fun? Or this is actually a football game?" And Sean hit him hit him first, head first, man. The way it's supposed to be done, man. Shoulder pad first. Excuse me. He took him on head first, but hit him shoulder pad. Squared him up.
God rest Sean Taylor. So he might be the reason why we don't have the Pro Bowl the way we want it right now. People like, look, if y'all hitting people like this, they're like, no, I think we're gonna pass.
Right.
People's like Sean Taylor going in there full steam ahead, man. He was like one of the greatest, and I know it was a short term, and unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to see how great that career could have been. So much love to Sean Taylor and his family. Next one, your worst sports moment. I know it's gonna be tough, but what's your worst sports moment?
Worst sports moment. I got two actually.
Okay.
When Philly came and just murdered us on that Monday night game.
The
Vic game. That's one. And the other was when Pittsburgh came in. Antonio Brown twerked on us, bro. Just hurt my heart. I was in that end zone, man. Hurt my heart.
Not even when he twerked on it, like, it broke my feelings. I
was done, man.
All right, next one. Greatest, in your opinion, the greatest commander / Redskin of all time, in your opinion. I know that's a tough one because there's a lot of greats, but your opinion, or if you want to say your favorite, well, who's the greatest of all time in your opinion?
Oh man, I guess I'd have to say Darrell Green, man.
Hey.
I mean, yeah, Darrell Green. There's something about them Darrells, man. Y'all good people, man.
Well, we solid sometimes. I think look. Hey, Darrell Green's one of the best, man. I remember growing up. I was a big fan of Darrell Green, even as a Packers fan. When I was growing up, my dad was huge on him. My dad's favorite player was Bobby Mitchell. Bobby Mitchell was my dad's favorite player, and that's how he became a Redskin fan back in the day. But Darrell Green was right there with him. Like, that was his number 2, and Darrell Green was the man. 20 years in the league. I mean, easy Hall of Famer. It was almost ridiculous. But yes, I like that. Darrell Green is an amazing, and to be honest with you, probably the right choice. I can't even be mad at that. All right, here come the two fun ones. Next one. Worst food you've ever tasted?
Anchovies.
Oh,
and let me tell you, I thought anchovies were olives. Well, they are in the olive family, but I thought that when I was younger, I'd always hear people say, "Let me get a pizza with anchovies," and da da da. And I was like, "Well, anchovies, it must be good." So I said, "Let me get anchovies. Let me get extra anchovies." And so there, I was driving home, and you know how you smell that hot pizza. Yeah. I picked it up, and I smell that hot pizza, and it smelled good, bro. And I'm driving home, and it's dark now. I don't know what I'm doing. I open up that pizza box, and I take a bite, and I almost wrecked my car, bro. So, I said I would never. They say never say never, but on this one, I can say I will never have anchovies ever again.
That is hilarious. Oh my goodness. Oh, but I think for me, that's liver. I had liver when I was 6 years old, and I've never had it again. It was something about it. It was the texture. It was the way it was something. I don't know. It was just the way it felt. I was like, nah, I ain't doing that ever again. And I've never had. That was 6 years old, and I'm 38 now, and I've never had liver again. If somebody tried to force feed me liver, I'd have to fight them immediately. I mean, just fisticuffs right into it. Last one on quick ones before we head to our last segment. You are going on a guys trip, and since you are, the master of trips here, you can take 3 celebrities with you on any trip you want to go to. Who are you taking on that trip?
Oh, I'm gonna. Do they have to be living, or can I bring them back? It doesn't matter.
You can bring them back, baby. You can bring them back.
Give me Bernie Mac.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Give me Bernie Mac. Give me Lola Falana, and I guess because I gotta say my wife.
Hey, because you know what? She is. Come on now. That's how you do it, Rally Captain. For all you men out there, that's how you do it right there. You tell them, Rally Captain. You tell them. All right, y'all. That was it for Quick Ones, the Rally Captain edition. Let's head to our last segment, and let's finish this one out right with Leave Your Legacy. All right, so before we get out of here, first of all, I want to say, Rally Captain, thank you for coming on. Thank you for being a part of the show. Thank you for taking us on the journey. We just thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the energy that you bring. As a person who's been able to see you out there bringing that energy. I've taken pictures of you out there in Houston. I put it on the background, the one where you're holding the flag up. Ton knows Houston Texas fans just a little bit. But I've had a chance to take pictures in different spots when we were on the road, and nobody. What you see on this man's shirt is nothing but the truth. I mean, you either rep it hard, you don't rep it at all, and nobody reps it harder than the Rally Captain. So, first of all, I want to say thank you for coming on, brother.
Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it. And there's no in between.
Yeah,
there is no in between. As a football player say, when they're in between the lines, they go full speed. And so, when I'm in Rally Captain mode, I go full speed. And truthfully, let me say this real quick before we go to this segment. Repping it hard is just not for football. It's for everything that you do in life. Either you're going to do it the right way or don't do it at all. Because no one wants somebody that's mediocre. You really don't. And you're not going to like yourself for doing it mediocre. So go out there and give it your best shot. And if you fail, you fail. But at least you gave it your best shot.
Right. Ain't no half stepping around here. You gotta go all the way. All right. So let's finish it up. Leaving your legacy. Now, look, when you're sitting back and you've retired from all of the fun stuff and you're just sitting there chilling, you're on the beach, wherever you may be, you're drinking a pina colada. I don't know if your drink of choice. I don't know. But whatever the drink of choice is, what do you want people to say about you, or at least if not say about you, what do you want people to know, or what type of legacy you want to leave behind once you've stepped away from it all?
Well, as I said before, my hat goes off to Chief Z. He's the one that his dedication showed me and gave me the ropes, if you will, to continue to carry the torch. So I'm looking for someone else who will be able to carry the torch once it's all said and done with me. Like is the hogs back in the day. Now we have the hog farmers. They've kind of taken their way. And so I think as far as an individual fan is concerned, like I said, Chief Z, and I hope that there's someone else in the wings that can continue to be positive, continue to work in the community, continue to show people that there is another side of things, because a lot of times this world is doom and gloom, man. It really is. And so there's another side, and so I enjoy talking to the kids and trying to get them motivated and to be upstanding citizens and do well in school and the whole 9 yards, man.
That's a really good deal, and that's what we got to find out who down the road though. I can't wait to see whoever the person that is groomed down the road. But that's down the road because Rally Captain got plenty of time to keep rallying up the troops. That's right.
Man upstairs willing. That's right.
With the man upstairs willing, Rally Captain still has a lot of juice left, ladies and gentlemen. We got a big season coming up for the Commanders. No matter which way it goes, this is going to be one of the biggest seasons in Washington, franchise history. It's going to be fun to see. Now, before we get out of here, next week, let me go ahead and tell you about next week's guest. I got my man and fellow, Washington reporter, Mr. Mark Davis, sports director of WTKR CBS 3 down in Hampton Roads. He will be joining me next week for episode 102. And so I can't wait to have Mark on. I've known Mark for 6 years now, and me and him, one big thing in common. And it's all about the Seattle Mariners. So we'll get a chance to talk about the Seattle Mariners next week. And, of course, talk some Commanders and go on and on from there. So can't wait to have Mark on next week. But with that being said, I want to say thank you one more time to the man, the myth, and the legend that is Mr. Rally Captain, Mr. Stephen Boyd. It's so glad to have you on, brother. It was an absolute honor.
My pleasure, brother. My pleasure. And I really appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you in Baltimore. Yep. And we can chop it up and we can talk about what we really see and think and see if this team is going to gel the way that we believe they can and should.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely have to chop it up and see where our minds are connecting once that day comes. So look, everybody, thank you all for tuning in for episode 101 on 101. I'm Darrell Owens. Mr. Stephen Boyd, aka the Rally Captain. Make sure y'all check him out on the DMV Mess Hall. He's the owner of SB Events and RC Apparel. Check out all his good stuff. Go check this man out and make sure you go support him because he's one of the best in the game. I'm Darrell Owens, Rally Captain with me. We'll see you all next time.
Legacy Maker, the All Sports Network.
Welcome to the one-on-one. When it comes to ratings, man, we number one. I get the truth, then I give them the scoop. If anybody got a question, I give them the